one of the early memories that I had was we had a baseball. Well, we actually had it was a picnic between Green River Assembly of God and Rock Springs Assembly of God, and had a base. It was a softball game. I don't know. Did you ever see your dad play softball?
Yeah. Yeah.
He could really hit that old ball, you know. He'd when he'd get into it, he'd hit it. And your dad was a big man, but he was a fast man.
Yeah. He was always proud of how fast his dad could run in the Army.
Oh man, he was quick. And I remember he really hit it. And Green River had this really tall guy. He must have been about 6'4", 6'5", I don't know. And he was playing catcher. And your dad got a bite of a ball. I mean, he hit it way out there. And he gets his speed. You know, he's not quite there. He hits first. Now he's moving. He's trucking, man. He hits second. I mean, he hits third. And we know the play is going to be at home. And here comes the ball. And here comes your dad. Ain't no way he's going to stop. The catcher gets it. Bam. I mean, they were rolling around. They were laying. And at the time, you know, I was a new Christian. I wasn't sure if the guys were going to get up swinging or what, you know. I got laughing. I mean, you know, dust and dirt and everything was just flying. But, you know, I just remember how great that was. Man, it was a hunting trip. Your dad wanted to get a deer, and we went up South Pass, went back in there, and we were driving my pickup, and we saw some deer, and your dad saw this buck. I didn't see the buck. He says, no, there was a buck. He said, I could see him bouncing. I could see him back there. I said, okay, well, let's go see where he entered in. And we went clear around to the other side, and the tracks didn't come out. So I said, you know what? They're in that little group of trees. I said, I'm going to drive back and I'm going to drop you off. Then I'm going to come drive back around here. Then I'm going to walk through and I'm going to clap and I'm going to make all kinds of noise. And hopefully they'll go right out the way they came in. And so I'm making noise, I'm clapping and I'm yelling. And all of a sudden, kaboom, I think he had a 30-06, if I remember. I heard that go off.
Yep.
And I walk out there finally. I says, well, did you get him? And he, yeah, I got him. His eyes got really big and he got to jumping, you know, and he was so excited. He was shaking and he, you know, now maybe his legs didn't wrap around me. I don't know, but it felt like it because he grabbed me, he hugged me, and we both went to the ground. He was so tickled. I mean, that was so much fun. And that deer, we weighed each quarter. And those quarters, after we dressed that deer out, were 50 pounds apiece.
Wow.
So that deer, after the hide was off and it was field dressed, was 200 pounds. That was one big deer, even though it was only a 4-point, but that was big. The hunting trips, you know, the first hunting, or not hunting trips, but camping trips, the first camping trip I remember going with your parents, I believe your mother wore a dress. I don't believe she had any slacks. I think the next time she had those polyester pants, you know, but she still had some high heels on, you know, or they were a low heel. They weren't a real high heel, but she had never, I don't think she had ever been camping before. We went camping that first time back in the early 70s. You were just little. Stephen wasn't even born, or Steve, I should call him Stephen, wasn't even born at that time, you know, I don't believe. But yeah, he had to have been born. He was born.
Yes, Steve would have been born, but Phil wasn't.
Yeah, Phil wasn't, because Jenny was just a little one that first trip.
I got to add too that, you know, we named that deer George after my dad had him, you know, stuffed. And George was, he hung on our wall and was one of the most faithful attendees to our Sunday school class. Everybody in Perkins will remember George being the most faithful attendee of the Sunday school class. He was always there.
You know, it did my heart so good just to see that excitement. I mean, I had more fun than if I would have shot it, you know, just seeing that joy, because your dad just had a bubbly way about him. You know, I, I can't remember hardly ever seeing your dad really distressed. You know, he was usually pretty upbeat most of the time. He really was. Wow. You know, the thing that amazed me the most, and I wrote down some things about your dad that I always admired. One of them was his pastoral care. He was a super pastor. He really was. He really cared for people, and I know with us and with me, maybe he felt a connection there. I don't know. Maybe he just felt sorry for me, but he would go the extra mile always. It seemed like.